Coming up, a literary mystery about a murder in a fancy library.
Some delightful and charming writing about physics and kindness.
Plus, our distraction of the week. I'm Mel.
I'm Dave. This is the Library of Lost Time.
This week, I'm looking forward to The Woman in the Library by Sulari Gentill. The story begins with a mystery author named Winifred, Freddie to her friends. She's seeking inspiration at the Boston Public Library. Suddenly, a woman's scream shatters the library's hush. Someone has been murdered. When the reading room is locked down, Freddie finds herself sharing a table with 3 strangers. They each have their own stories and secrets, and one of them is the murderer. Freddie has just found the inspiration for her new novel. Before becoming a prize-winning novelist herself, Sulari Gentill studied astrophysics and was a corporate lawyer. Her new book has been described as elegantly constructed and wickedly clever. I cannot wait to crack it open. The Woman in the Library is out now.
My book is There Are Places in the World Where Rules Are Less Important Than Kindness, and Other Thoughts on Physics, Philosophy, and the World by Carlo Rovelli. Carlo Rovelli is a brilliant physicist known for his theories about quantum gravity. He is also a passionate and popular science writer. This book is a collection of short pieces that he's written for Italian newspapers. They're usually just a page or two. In these essays, he brings together science and humanity. So, for example, he uses Marie Curie to talk about the importance of being open to immigrants. He also writes about why Stephen Hawking was great. It was his character. That's There Are Places in the World Where Rules Are Less Important Than Kindness by Carlo Rovelli. And now, our distraction of the week. Happy birthday to Maurice Sendak. Sendak is best known for his book Where the Wild Things Are, a children's story published nearly 60 years ago.
Are there any words more enticing than let the wild rumpus start?
Sendak designed the monsters in that book on his own relatives.
He did. The story is that every week his family would gather for Sunday lunch together. His aunts and uncles would pinch his cheeks and say, "You look so good we could eat you up." To him, their faces looked really scary, and the monsters of wild things were born.
He would go on to write and draw dozens of books. They've sold about 30 million copies in the U.S. alone.
That's a lot of books.
It is.
When he died in 2012, the New York Times called him the most important children's book artist of the 20th century.
Sendak was a strong illustrator, but his best trick may have been his empathy for the full experience of being a child. There's joy and exploration, but there's also fear and darkness and the unknown. Many of his books explored heroes overcoming their own emotional challenges.
Sendak was born in Brooklyn to a Jewish family. His parents frequently reminded him of the relatives they lost to the Holocaust. He once said in an interview, "I learned early on that it was a very chancy business being alive."
If you want to hear more from Sendak himself, we recommend an interview he did with Terry Gross shortly before his death in 2012. There's also an animated version of that interview from Christoph Niemann. We'll point to both.
Visit strongsenseofplace.com/library for more on the books we discussed and lots of links about the genius of Maurice Sendak, including a delicious carrot soup inspired by Where the Wild Things Are.
Thanks for joining us on the Library of Lost Time. Remember to visit your local library and your independent bookstore to lose some time yourself.
Stay curious. We'll talk to you soon.